The secret to winning when everyone doubts you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a story. There was once a young boy, the son of an immigrant, growing up in a small town where dreams felt too heavy for shoulders that small. His classmates laughed when he spoke about what he wanted to be. Teachers told him he needed to be realistic. Neighbors shook their heads, whispering that his family didn't have the resources, the name, or the opportunity to climb out of poverty. And every night, after school, he worked late at the gas station with his father, cleaning greasy floors, pumping fuel into cars, and saving every dollar they could. This boy carried something inside him, something fragile, something powerful. A dream. But here's the thing about dreams, people will doubt them. Not because they're impossible, but because most people cannot see what you see. And so, the boy grew up surrounded by voices telling him, "You'll never make it." Now, maybe you've been there. Maybe someone has told you that you are not enough. Maybe your friends, your colleagues, even your own family have doubted your ability to rise. And if you're honest, maybe you've doubted yourself. But here's the secret, my friends, the secret to winning when everyone doubts you. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Let me take you deeper into this story. Years later, this boy, now a young man, applied for college. He dreamed of becoming the first in his family to get a degree. He filled out application after application. And rejection after rejection filled the mailbox. Too poor. Not enough grades. Not enough promise. Every letter felt like a knife. Every no felt like confirmation of what the world had been whispering his whole life: you don't belong. But one day, while working his night shift, something changed. A stranger pulled up to the gas station, exhausted from a long drive. The young man noticed the driver's flat tire. Without being asked, he grabbed tools, got down on his knees, and fixed it. The driver, surprised by his kindness, asked him about his life. The boy hesitated, but finally said, "I want to go to college, but everyone says I'm not cut out for it." The man smiled, pulled a card from his wallet, and said, "Send me your application essay. I think I can help." That stranger turned out to be a professor at a nearby university. Weeks later, the boy was admitted, not because his grades were perfect, not because his resume was polished, but because his character, his determination, and his willingness to serve others shone brighter than his circumstances. And this, my friends, is the first lesson: sometimes your breakthrough comes not when you chase success, but when you serve with kindness. Now, let's pause here. When everyone doubts you, it's tempting to fight back with anger. To say, "I'll show them." But if your fuel is just proving others wrong, you will eventually run out of fire. Because doubt from others is not the greatest enemy, it's the doubt inside yourself. That boy could have believed the rejections. He could have surrendered. He could have said, "They're right. I'm not enough." But he chose a different path. He chose to keep showing up. Friends, I want you to think about this in your own life. How many times have you given up not because you failed, but because someone else convinced you you couldn't? Here's the truth: the greatest victories are often born in silence, when no one is watching, when no one believes, when it's just you, your faith, and your fight. The young man went on to college, but the struggles didn't end there. He worked 3 jobs to pay tuition. He studied by candlelight when the power in his small apartment was cut off. He skipped meals so he could afford books. And sometimes, at his lowest, he thought about quitting. But then something profound happened. One night, he saw another student, homeless, sleeping in the library. Instead of walking past, he sat down and shared what little food he had. That act of compassion sparked a friendship that carried them both through some of their darkest days. You see, the world teaches us that winning means standing above others. But real winning is lifting someone else with you. The secret to winning when everyone doubts you is not selfish victory, it's shared victory. Let me tell you something surprising. That homeless student? He later became the co-founder of a company with that young man. Together, they built something no one believed possible. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Success came, yes, but not in the way people think. It didn't come as fame or fortune first. It came as impact. That little company, born from nights of hunger and days of doubt, ended up creating opportunities for hundreds of people who had once been told, "You'll never make it." And suddenly, all the voices of doubt, the teachers, the neighbors, the classmates, faded away. Not because they were silenced, but because their words no longer mattered. The young man had discovered the secret: you don't need the world's approval to rise. You only need courage, persistence, and the willingness to help others rise with you. Now, let me bring this closer to you. Think about the Wright brothers, who dreamed of flying when everyone said, man was not meant to fly. Think about Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before the light bulb illuminated the world. Think about Oprah Winfrey, who was told she wasn't fit for television. Think about countless everyday heroes, the single mother working 3 jobs, the father driving night shifts, the young student battling against all odds, who keep going even when the world doubts them. What ties them all together is not genius. Not talent. Not luck. It's resilience. Resilience is the armor of the doubted. Compassion is their secret weapon. And persistence is their victory song. But here's where the real heart of this speech lies. Winning is not just about the finish line. Winning is about the journey. Winning is about who you become in the process. When you are doubted, you learn humility. When you are rejected, you learn perseverance. When you are overlooked, you learn patience. When you are alone, you learn strength. And when you finally rise, you carry within you something no doubter can ever take away, the wisdom that your worth was never dependent on their belief. Let me share a moment that changed me personally. I once met a man at a community center who had been homeless for 7 years. I asked him, "What kept you going when everyone gave up on you?" He looked me in the eye and said, "The day you stop believing in yourself, you're already dead. But the day you help someone else believe in themselves, you come alive again." That struck me to my core. Because the secret to winning when everyone doubts you is not about standing alone on a podium. It's about bringing others with you, about transforming doubt into fuel, pain into purpose, rejection into redirection. So, what does this mean for you, sitting here, listening today? It means that if people have doubted you, you are in good company. It means if you've been told, you can't, you're standing in the exact place where greatness begins. It means if you've been broken, rejected, laughed at, or underestimated, you are already being prepared for something extraordinary. Because history has shown us this again and again, the most doubted people often become the most unstoppable. Now, let's reach the climax of this journey. I want you to close your eyes for just a second and picture something. Picture the faces of those who doubted you. Picture the voices that told you, you're not good enough. Now imagine standing years from now, not with arrogance, not with anger, but with quiet strength. And imagine looking back. Not to say, I proved you wrong, but to say, I proved myself right. I became who I was meant to be. That is winning. And the final secret? Winning is not about the trophy, the applause, or the recognition. Winning is about knowing that when the world pushed you down, you chose to rise. That when doubt surrounded you, you chose faith. That when you had nothing left, you chose to give something anyway. So let me leave you with this. When everyone doubts you, remember, doubt is just borrowed fear. It's someone else's limitation projected onto your life. Don't carry it. Don't wear it. Don't let it define you. Instead, carry kindness. Carry resilience. Carry the fire that no rejection can extinguish. And one day, when the world looks at you and says, "How did you win when everyone doubted you?" you will smile and answer, "Because I never stopped believing in the power of persistence, in the strength of compassion, and in the truth that doubt is just the beginning of destiny. Thank you.